Hello, baby.
Hello, nasty. Hello there.
Hello.
I say hello.
Hello, friend.
Well, hello, little girl.
Hello, my treacherous friends.
Hello, operator. The beginning of everything.
Welcome back, my friends.
It's showtime.
Hey everybody, welcome to episode 258 of The Brink of Sanity / episode 2 of the Donald Trump podcast.
Yes, we are bringing you all the best in Donald Trump and Brink of Sanity. All at once, here together. Shows are crossing. It's like a 90s TV show special.
Wow, this is exciting. I'm happy to be a part of it.
Basically,
Yeah.
this is going to be like Highlander. Only one will survive. Which podcast will it be?
Yes, so
Probably the next one.
Yeah.
well, I guess the next one's going to survive. The next one has the biggest audience. So last show, our first episode of Trump, which Jay has yet to release, it was right after the election, and I said to Jay, why don't we rebrand the Brink of Sanity podcast as Donald Trump and see if we can get more downloads. We've yet to actually do that, but we're going to do that and release this episode. And Brink versus Donald Trump podcast, the winner take all. So, Bri, welcome to the Donald Trump podcast.
Oh, thanks. It's great to be here.
It's great to be here, as it's great that Donald Trump is president?
Why not? I don't really. You know what? I really don't even care anymore.
It's been a week. You're like,
I really don't.
screw the country.
I'm
I
over
will
it.
say, though, at 7 o'clock on election night, I put on Twitter that Trump was going to win. I just had a feeling. I called it early.
Yeah, well, you were right.
Yeah.
Way to nail it.
Well, I don't know. I just had a feeling. But, so, I mean, the world hasn't ended yet. It's been, 7-8 days, so.
He hasn't taken office yet, but yeah. Should we go over the latest into Trump news, or kind of update where we are in our Trump podcast / website?
We should probably start there, I think.
Yeah, let's start with what we've done since the last episode. And we have done it.
So, Brian, we have a friend who we're going to rename nameless because we don't want to talk about him on the actual show, but a friend of ours came to us and said, my idea to rebrand Brink of Sanity as the Trump podcast wasn't really my own idea, as much as a friend came to us and said, hey, we should start a Trump website podcast, just like we should make money off this thing. Donald Trump is now president. People are going to be insanely interested in Donald Trump news, so we should make a website where it'll be a go-to resource for Donald Trump.
Is your friend Donald Trump?
Yes, it's Donald Trump. It's Donald Trump, and anyway, so he's paying us each $500,000 a year. Me and Jay, that is, Bri. You have to work for free until you earn your money.
Until you prove yourself.
Oh, wait a minute, Jay. How come I thought you had it in the bag for president? What happened?
I don't know. I think I fell to the same issue that Hillary had. We both got too cocky, and
it was a rigged system.
And I wasn't really going to the swing states. That's where I went wrong.
For those that don't know, Jay, as Mr. Brink Sandy, was running for president. You can look on the FEC website and find out and see that actually happened. And Jay, you also had
any votes?
I know I lost to Harambe, who got 15,000 votes.
Well,
I should have voted for Jay. I don't know why I wasted my vote on Hillary. Yeah. Jay, did you have an email scandal also?
I have no scandals in my entire run.
Well, you needed a scandal. Scandals will get you news attention.
That is true. I mean, I already promised executive orders. That was in the New York Post article. For those of you who don't know, the New York Post actually did write an article about my campaign. And I promised a couple of executive orders, but I guess they were reasonable, so nobody got mad about them.
Anyway, so our friend, you can listen to past Brink of Sanity shows and find out all about Jay's presidency, run for presidency. I was a VP candidate for a short while. I'm going to put it on my resume and see how that goes. So anyway, he came with this whole idea, our friend, and said we should do this. He was very gung-ho. Would you say he's gung-ho, Jay?
Oh, yeah, very gung-ho.
He said he wanted to, his reason for doing it was that he wanted Tuesday to never happen again. So bunch of
Tuesdays.
yeah. It had nothing to do with Donald Trump, but just that he wanted the week to go Monday, Wednesday.
You probably should have got rid of Mondays, but I mean, Tuesday is a good, second choice.
I don't know if you reduce the work week down from 5 days to 4 days, I'm down.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Even if we reduce the entire week down to 6, percentage-wise, I'm still doing better, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so he basically was gung-ho about this. I tried to tell him that you probably can't change what half the country thinks, but we can make a fun website and do a podcast related to it. And he wanted some kind of source, basically, where it would be a resource to tell voters why they were wrong about stuff. Jay, what was your idea for the website?
My idea for the website was to have people at both ends of the spectrum writing factual articles, trying to stay pretty. Even though like the people would be from both ends of the political spectrum, I wanted the site to be pretty neutral because I didn't want to piss off like half the population.
Well, that's
Why?
Because I feel like to monetize the podcast, you want the biggest potential base, and if you piss off 60 million people all at once, not the best of ideas.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, so we didn't want to limit ourselves to 60 million viewers. We want more than that.
Right, we're greedy.
Anyway, Jay, how's it going since? Oh yeah, so our friend, what happened? If you were going to write a political website, if you were going to write a political website, what's the first thing you would do?
Register a domain name.
Close.
If you said ask your boss if you could do it, you were correct.
Why do I have to ask my boss?
Because our friend did, and now our friend that was gung ho about the idea and kind of like said like, "Hey guys, do you want to do your job, like what you're doing for a living, for the rest of your life? We need to do something else. We need to really do something with our lives." And then he dropped out 2 days later when he asked his boss.
Because literally no boss on the planet would ever say yes
Was
to
boss
that.
his wife or was boss his boss?
I would have made more sense if it was actually his wife.
Yeah.
But it works for a big company. The big company was like, write political stuff on a website? That sounds like an awesome idea, moron. Let's not do that. And so they weren't a big fan of it. I said he could write everything anonymously. He may or may not contribute anonymously. But anyway, so
You're off to a good start, is what you're saying.
Yeah, so we immediately lost one person.
we lost the person that was most gung-ho about it. Because Jay and I were like, oh, we'll just do a podcast once in a while, post stuff, and they'll do all the posting, and it'll work well because we're going to do all the podcast. So far, Jay and I mean, some other people have posted also, but Jay and I are taking the bulk of, like, Jay's designing the website, I'm posting stuff, Jay's putting the post, and we're like, oh, this would be nice if the other people were in on it too.
So it's kind of like this show. There's no followers. There's no readers. There's
no nothing. There's no
Okay.
nothing.
It's nothing.
It's going. So you know what I did today? Here's what I did today, Brian. Oh, Brian, do you want to write for the website?
I'm not
After
much
you
of a writer, but I can try.
After you just sold it really well.
Who, me or?
Mark,
Yeah,
he's like,
no,
oh yeah, the site's probably not even going to last another month and it sucks and nobody reads. You want to work really hard on it though?
I've been telling Jay every day that this site is like doomed to be done like the following week, and I told him there's no way it makes 2017.
Is it even still up now tonight?
Yeah, have you seen it yet?
I've looked at it quickly, but I haven't really read anything about it. Like I haven't read any of the stuff on there.
Well,
That's
you have a lot in common.
You're like the rest of America then.
Yeah.
But I have invited a few of my friends from Facebook to join, and I think a couple people did.
No, we're up to. I mean, the podcast. This thing started on what, Monday?
Mm-hmm.
We're up to 29 likes. on
Are
Facebook.
you asking your friends?
Me?
No, Mark.
Oh no, I don't even tell anyone when we do a podcast.
You're the worst.
I don't tell
I
anyone I do a podcast either, but I did get some people to like it because I when I saw it, I wasn't sure if it was you guys creating it or you guys just sort of like liking it and sort of sponsoring it in a way, or or if you guys were just like plagiarizing it and it was somebody else, but it was pretending to be you guys. But
I tell people to do a podcast, but I don't really promote it. Like I feel like Jay promotes the stuff at work. He'll like just tell everyone he meets, like, I do a podcast, I got a next podcast, bring podcast, next podcast, bring podcast. Do you want to read my articles? I feel like you're Mr. I feel like not you're Mr. Promotion, but you tell everyone, right?
I'm a hype man.
Yeah.
I thrive on ideas.
You're like, have you seen how good our downloads are on break? Could you imagine if I wasn't hyping it? No, our next one does well, and apparently you're hyping it well in Australia because we got a lot of downloads in Australia. So I, on the other hand, am kind of like, oh yeah, I do a podcast. What's it about? Oh, it's about the Knicks. It's something about comedy. Okay. Anyway, let's change the topic.
Andrew said all of Bry's contributions should be in audio form because by the time you write it out, you won't be full of rage anymore.
Well, we should have done a live election night podcast because you would have heard the biggest meltdown you've ever heard from me because of this fucking local asshole that's running for state senate.
What were you so mad about? What happened?
There's this asshole who, now this is going to make me sound bad, but I don't really care. There's this guy that you've probably heard
He's
of.
the guy that he likes Jews. I don't know why he likes Jews, but
There's this guy who 10 years ago, his wife and kids got brutally murdered. And ever since then, every fucking day, the guy's on TV. He can't hide from a microphone. He just loves himself. He loves being on TV. And there's so much stuff that's not talked about that happened with that. So anyway, this asshole now he ran for state legislature. He only ran on his name, and he's running on. He says he's not going to repeal the death penalty, but he's going to repeal the death penalty. Or unrepeal it, or whatever the fuck it is, and the guy won, and I can't believe he won. The only difference between me and him running is that people know who he is because he's on TV because his family got killed, and I hate him so much, and he won, and I literally did not dawn on me that he was going to win, and he won like 65-35, and I fucking threw a fit.
Can I ask you a question, Brian? Well, actually, yeah. I want to do something for you.
Okay.
I wanted to, Jay. I know I'm not the most generous man always, but I have something I really want to do for you, Brian.
Okay.
I want to put you on a pathway towards a vibrant career. Can I do that for you?
Sure.
I'm gonna murder your family.
Okay.
Is it cool? Like if you
go ahead. That's fine. Then I'll be a senator in 10 years.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. If you could tell me where your Thanksgiving festival is, okay. I will murder the whole family.
Okay.
Let me know.
What you have to do is you have to beat me with a bat, leave me in the basement, set the house on fire, and then leave.
Brian, that's a lot of work, Brian.
But I have to be having an affair while you're killing my wife, if I had a wife. So there's a lot of ins and outs to it.
So because the guy was committing adultery, you're like, his family deserved to get murdered.
The guy's just a phony, and he's like, every time he talks, he's like, I just want to I just want to move on with my life, and put everything behind me. And then the next day he's on TV, and then the day after that he's on TV. Then
but is he like, only talking? Speaking of the economy, did you know my wife was brutally murdered? Is that what's his name?
Well, like they introduce him. They're like, oh, and Dr. William Pettit, who you may remember, who was a victim of in 2007 of a horrific crime. It's like people, the media here, you would think it was the only thing that the three people were the only three people that ever died in the history of the world.
What's his name?
William Pettit. Pettit.
So he's basically the Connecticut version of Rudy Giuliani.
He's got a new wife?
Yeah, he's got a new wife. He got married. He has a new kid.
So what's the problem? He replaced everything. He replaced everything he lost.
He should just fade into the background, run his little charity and all that. He doesn't need to fucking run for state senate, state legislature, whatever it is.
So you're mad that he rebuilt his life, got married again?
No, he's a media whore. He's always on TV. He's a sociopath.
He's a whore.
He's a whore. Anyway,
okay, Andrew Dice Fry.
I saw Andrew Dice Clay in Vegas last month. It was the funniest. It was the best show I've ever seen.
Really, he was actually good.
He was so fucking good. He killed. He threw this girl out of the audience. He threw her out because she wouldn't shut up. Oh, it's so funny.
Nice.
I've never found his stand-up that funny. Jay? You find his stand-up very funny?
Well, last time I heard his stand-up, I was 14, and I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard it more recently. I didn't think it was that he's kind of funny. He
comes out and he just picks on the crowd, and he just picks on people, and it was great. He killed.
I've heard him on the Howard Stern show, and he's an amazing guest on the Howard Stern show, and he's a really good interview.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I never thought his comedy that funny. Whatever. Anyway, so did you hear that his new wife was also murdered now that the election's over?
I wanted to run against him, but I don't live in the town where he was running.
What would he? Let's can we cut to the debate between Bry and William Pettit?
I don't even want to go to the debate. I just want to go to like an open house.
Let's cut to the debate. Jay, the moderator, ask a question.
I thought we were talking about the Trump website.
We're gonna do this right now. Jay, ask a question.
I don't have 3 hours tonight.
Jay, just ask a question, please.
Can we move on?
I don't want to ever move on. Well, you see, the economy is much like a home invasion where your wife and your child get killed. It's something that if you don't pay attention, it'll be brutally murdered by you. I'm a survivor, like the people of Connecticut.
In all seriousness, this is why I hate him. I'll tell you why I hate him, and it's not really his fault, but
I'm here. I'm in front of you, Bry. You can just talk to my face.
I'll tell you the reason I hate you is because I personally know somebody who was killed in a home invasion, where now she was raped, she was beaten to death, the house was set on fire. That was the same exact thing that happened to his family, and it never even made the news because she was poor and she was old. She wasn't like a doctor's wife, and she wasn't a bitchy looking lady. She was just like a regular, like, poor lady. And
your platform is the poor dead who are raped and murdered should hold office instead of me.
Poor dead people's lives matter.
Anyway, so our website's going really. Could you post about that on our website? We need more like that.
There was actually somebody, one of those PACs, created an ad that was comparing him with Trump, which it caused a big stir here because it said like Donald Trump hates women and Dr. Pettit hates women, and he was like, "How do I hate women?" and like everybody had to apologize, and they fired the guy that made the ad, and I was so pissed. It was while I was on vacation because I was going to take credit for the ad, but I didn't. Anyways, how about this Trump website?
I can't believe you're so angry at this guy.
I hate him. I hate him so much.
You've been like holy. So who's this other person that you know that was murdered?
Well, she was a client at my office, at our law office.
Yeah.
And we just like got a call one day that she died, and we were like, oh, whatever. And then like the next day there was an article. In the paper.
Whatever.
Well, I mean, we were just like, clients die all the time. I was like,
our clients die all the time. What kind of law is it? We intervene and we meet people prior to them being murdered.
Well, we didn't know she was murdered, but then the next day we found out she was murdered, and I was like, geez, that barely even made the paper. It didn't get an HBO documentary. There's an HBO documentary about it. It's called The Cheshire Murders.
Oh, well, that helps his candidacy.
Yeah.
Was he like? I'm going to explain my platform while my family gets brutally murdered right behind me. I would see what's going on.
I was writing all these nasty tweets and messages on Facebook the night of the election because I was drunk. I was so mad. My dad had to call me, and he's like, he's been elected to public office. You might want to knock that off. So I had to delete all of them.
What were your messages?
One of them I put, do you think, which hand does he write his dead wives and daughters' names so that he can recite them to the press?
Wow, you're angry, man. Holy crap. Do you want to post this stuff on our website? We need traction. We need to get a little more outrageous.
Somebody put, congratulations on him winning, and I commented, of course he had to win because he has PTSD. If he loses, he might have a freak out.
He has PTSD? Oh, from the murder. Yeah. Okay. You should.
I need help.
You know, Joe Biden. He lost his wife and kid to a car accident.
I know.
Why weren't you trolling him? You're electing a guy who lost family members to murder. You know who loses family members to murder? Losers.
You don't see the Kennedys out there talking about their murdered relatives.
Yeah, the Kennedys, they drive off a bridge, let the woman die, and move on. Let's move on with the conversation. She died last night. It's not important now. Anyway, I decided today to. Facebook always has this thing to tell you like you can promote your post on Facebook to try to like get more traction, or whatever. So I paid $5 to get more traction with my latest post on the Donald Trump website, hoping that would suddenly I'd pay $5 and we'd be like the New York Times level of popular. So far, I think like 8 people have gone to the website today.
Well, I don't think the New York Times is very popular anymore after the election.
No, you're up to like 150 hits, but they're mostly. I thought it was a neutral article, really. And
you're saying hits on Facebook? 100, yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty neutral article, but you have a lot of rednecks like yelling at you.
Holy shit! Here are the posts. So I wrote a post basically about how there's a bunch of hate crimes ever since the election, and I was saying, hey, whatever Donald Trump like. I'm not saying he's racist, but like there's a lot of hate associated with his campaign, and he needs to kind of like just put a clamp on everything. Just tell everyone, hey, I'm president. I wouldn't stand for this. We're not a racist society. We don't. This is not the America we live in. We love our brothers. But just like something like kind of
a pretty good message.
Wait, you think Trump's going to say that?
Well, he should. He said they asked him about then like people like associating hate with his campaign, and he said, oh, they should stop that. And he needs to really speak up. He's the president. He goddamn matters now, unfortunately. And he needs to really speak up and tell everyone, this is not okay. It is not okay to pick on someone because they're Muslim. It's not okay. The high school in my goddamn town, in the boys' bathroom, they found a swastika. This shit is not okay, and it's going to get worse and worse. If you don't speak up and you have to tell the alt-right, these crazy white supremacists, that you're not mainstream. This is not okay. Go back to your hole. This is wrong, basically. And so that was my message, basically. I asked if Donald Trump could kind of speak up. Here are the messages I got. This is from Mikey. He writes, how about Obama speak the fuck up since his party was the ones who started this by calling Trump fascist? Fuck out of here, asshole.
Good grammar.
I went to Mikey's page, by the way. His most recent post is keep calm and grab them by the pussy. Then there's grab life by the pussy, another Trump thing. If you scroll down a little bit further, there's Hitler. So that's wonderful. Jeremy writes, he did. Trump isn't even president yet. He can't undo Obama's legacy of hate and divisiveness in just a couple of months. Yeah, I mean, Obama, total legacy of hate.
I wanted to ask him to name one thing hateful or divisive, he said, but then I figured it just wasn't worth it.
He said, hey, look at me, I'm black. Oh, my God. By the way, to Mikey's comment, my response, which he hasn't responded yet, was, ha, 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 LOL. I thought it was a good response. Ron writes, I remember when Obama was elected, the kids at the University of Pittsburgh flooded the streets celebrating. You would have thought the Steelers won the Super Bowl. Then they graduated and couldn't find jobs. Oi! And now they are on the streets protesting Trump, who has a great plan to provide jobs. Oi! Just what is wrong with these kids' heads? Will they ever learn? In fairness, you may not think the economy is rip-roaring at this point, but I think Obama came into office, the unemployment was like 10%, and now unemployment's 5%. He's added a lot of jobs. Whether you think the economy's great or they're the best jobs, we're doing a lot better than we were 8 years ago when the economy was like falling apart. What plan did Trump say for the economy? I must have missed that during the campaign. He said he had a great plan, and that was the extent of his explanation.
I don't know.
Yeah, whatever. And then Rita wrote, ha ha, real funny. Isn't it getting better? Aider, ha ha.
I don't even know what that one means.
I don't even know. I'm that guy Mikey scared me enough that I don't know if I even want to do this website anymore. Because I'm like, his next step is like, I'll find where you live and murder your children because you wrote a post.
It's all right. The website's registered in my name.
Perfect.
Oh, you just got another comment.
Oh, cool.
Very excited.
I find it. Kenneth writes, I believe Donald Trump has spoken up. This is a Democrat problem. Hillary and Obama need to speak up a lot louder. He's goddamn just been elected president.
See, the beauty of the Trump presidency, and nobody understands this yet, in a year, they can't blame Obama anymore. They can't blame Clinton anymore. It's going to be all on them. So when they fuck it up, it's going to be all on them.
They'll still blame him. I also like it's literally everything is linked to basically the people that were supporting Trump. Even if Trump wasn't a big fan of even if Trump said, "Hey, I know the KKK supports me, but I'm not going to turn down their votes, but I don't believe what they're saying." And now he kind of should be saying, "Hey, I'm not a fan of the KKK." They did endorse him. He should kind of this alt-right insane movement where Glenn Beck was on the record saying that the alt-right is completely scary and insane.
See, the problem that Trump started is a problem that is now never going to go away, and that is Trump for a year and a half has just been saying whatever the fuck he wants without any sort of repercussion or having to apologize, and all these idiots who follow him are taking his lead, and they're just well, Trump says whatever the fuck he wants and nothing happens to him, so I'm just going to go out and start calling Jews and putting swastikas everywhere, and that's the problem.
And he says things like, "That guy, judge, can't serve him my case. He's Mexican, and I'm building a wall." And then the entire Republican Party goes, "That is racist. We'll still vote for him because we support racism." It's the most bizarre thing.
The judge is Mexican. He looks like fucking Richard Dreyfuss. He's not Mexican.
Yeah, it was just and he spent the whole birther movement. Obama might be a Muslim born in Kenya. And the two things were A, he has birth certificate from America, from Hawaii. It's not even a question. It's an actual fact. And second, if he's Muslim, hey, that's nothing wrong with that, actually. That's our society is supposed to be built on the fact that we accept everyone.
The other problem that Trump created, and he personally is going to be the one that's going to have to deal with it in the near future, and that is all these stupid things that he promised that anybody with any sort of common sense, semi level of intelligence knows are A, bullshit, B, impossible, and C, are never going to happen. He's not building a fucking wall. He's not throwing Hillary Clinton in jail. He's not, he's not kicking every Muslim out of the country. He's not going to round up gay people and put them in jail. But I don't think he actually promised. Maybe not that one, but there is a legitimate portion of people who voted for him who really think he's going to do that. And when he doesn't, they're going to get pissed and they're going to turn on him.
How dare you not kick all the Muslims out of the country?
And then they're going to blame the Democrats. They're like, "Oh, you wouldn't let him build the fucking wall."
Yeah. I mean, the thing is also, the things he promised are so unbelievably absurd when you think about the practicality of building that wall. You would need I was listening to something about it, and they were saying how it would be maybe $100 billion to build the wall. It was something ridiculous number of you need so much cement, it would be an absurd project.
Yeah.
And it would be the equivalent of when they built the highways.
Yeah.
When they built the highways and you had oh, cool, we can drive everywhere. That's awesome. Now you built the wall and you're like, oh, why did we do that?
Yeah, a guy I follow on Twitter said he does all this shit, and he said he costs $18,000 to deport a person, and he wants to deport 2 million people.
How do you even find everyone? You're gonna have to our country's gonna just become checkpoints where they're gonna be checking everywhere. Are you? Oh, you're white. Okay, you can go. You're white. You can go. Oh, you're a little dark. Let me see your papers. It's gonna be. It would be insane. The amount of that they also said that would be cost between $40 and $70 billion a year just to round everyone up to get them out of the country.
And Jay, if I could wake you up for a second and answer a question that you posted last week, Hillary Clinton's got plenty of time now to go door to door to get all of her guns. So.
Oh yeah, that is true. She does have time now.
How much does this suck? I mean, the media has just turned on Hillary to no go
ahead.
Go, Bri.
I wanted to just kind of expand on.
You should post, by the way, for our site, Bri. We'll give you the access to do it.
Yeah, give it to me. All the stuff I've been saying, I actually wrote down because I was going to make a long Facebook post the other day, and I never did.
Just do it.
So I'll just post it there. But to just go back to what I said about people expecting a wall and all this shit. You got the media now who are so fucking stupid and corrupt and implicit in all this nonsense. They're now they're trying to cover their asses, and they're like, well, voters knew that he didn't mean a literal wall, he meant a figurative wall, and he didn't literally mean he was going to throw Clinton in jail, but he wants to stop corruption. It's no, they fucking think that a wall is going to go up like in China.
Yeah, yeah, I would agree that is they kind of actually think that. Uh, yeah, it's so. Yeah, right. You have to post for our site.
All right, I will.
We'll send it to you. Post for our site. Why not? At least maybe one day we'll get some advertising on this site and we'll all quit our jobs and become billionaires.
All right.
Yeah, we can make our lives great again. Yeah. Also on Hillary, people are killing. I mean, she should have been. She wasn't a great candidate. Had lots of issues, and everyone's piling on her like, you didn't visit these states, you didn't do this, you did that. And you're piling on her, and they're like, you can't blame the FBI. Don't blame all these fake news sites. They're giving all these fake stories. It's your fault, Hillary. And she's like, I got 2 million more votes than Donald Trump, right? Yeah, you're a loser. I got the most votes by a lot. You're a loser, Hillary. I barely lost those other states. You're a loser. I feel like it's kind of unfair to completely kill her. I mean, she should have beaten him, but it's a screwed up system where she got more votes by a lot.
I mean, I don't understand how Hillary Clinton is not on like massive suicide watch right now. I mean, everybody thought she was going to be president in 2008. She lost to Obama. Everyone says, oh, she's going to be president in 2016. She barely and had to have help from the DNC to beat Bernie just to get the nomination.
A lot of help.
A lot of help. And then she fucking loses to fucking Donald Trump.
She had the most votes, but yeah.
Where the whole, like, everybody said she had it in the bag, and then she fucking she got killed in the electoral. I mean, I expected when she had her speech there the day after, I thought she might just pull out a gun and shoot herself on TV.
Wow, that would have been amazing. I mean, that would horrible, but could you imagine that's where our country goes? We'd be like, the entire country would be like, oh God.
Like, did you guys see Hillary fucking blow her head off on TV?
You would just be like, oh my God, this is really where our country's gone. And Trump would be like, losers blow their heads off.
Yeah.
So what's going on? So let's not spend the entire show on Trump, even though it's the Trump podcast. Let's talk about some other Trump stuff at least before we get into like other stuff. So other things going on with Donald Trump. He is looking at different people, interviewing them. He's interviewed Mitt Romney for a job. He interviewed Ted Cruz for a job. Apparently, the more you hate Donald Trump, the more he's gonna.
The higher up your job's gonna be.
Yeah, which is kind of weird.
Keep your enemies close and your enemies even closer. I'm Donald Trump.
In all seriousness, though, doesn't it look like Trump is kind of like every time they show him, he just has that like, what the fuck just happened look.
Well, they said he was shocked as anyone that he won the election because he didn't even have a plan of like where he was going to live. They're like, oh, okay, you're going to move to D.C. And he's like, I hadn't even thought about that.
I just picture him like in some hoity-toity bar with like a bunch of rich assholes, and somebody's like making fun of him or something. He's like, yeah, well, fuck you. I'm going to run for president. I'm going to win. I'll bet you $1 million I can be president. And they did it. And now he's just like, oh, fuck, I got to be president? Like, and like he can't quit because Mike Pence is a bigger sociopath than him. And I mean, we can't fucking have him.
Yeah. Did you hear the thing also that they did a study, I guess, leading up to the election, they found fake news articles were shared 9.5 million times more than real news articles on Facebook.
Yes, I saw something about that.
They're just like making up news stories, and everyone, and now Facebook's like, where you might want to clamp down on that because that seems like a really bad thing for our country.
Yeah.
But on the
should we not have done that?
I mean, Facebook just wasn't one of they didn't want to like have any role in this thing because they wanted to monitor stuff. But like, there are so many fake news sites that are on Facebook, and they get people to click on them because they have great stories that are fake.
They're almost all fake.
Because any headline that says like this is the end for Hillary Clinton, everybody who hates Hillary Clinton's like, I gotta fucking see what she did now, and then like it doesn't even mention her name in the article.
You know, my father-in-law showed me this quote a while back during the campaign from Donald Trump, who was saying like back in 2000, whenever he said it, that like if he ever run for president, he'd run as a Republican because those people are just so stupid they'd eat anything up. And I was like, I can't believe he actually said that. Turns out he didn't actually say that. That was made up. But I even believe something that was made up.
Yeah, I fell for that at first too. Now whenever I see anything political on Facebook, I just Google it, and usually Snopes is like, yeah, that's bullshit.
Yeah, you know what? a good way of going. If it's not reported by a major news source, and I know everyone thinks the lamestream media, whatever. If it's not reported by a major news service, there's a good chance it's probably fake.
Yeah.
Most of these websites are like, there's one that goes in my feed now, Addicting Info, and at first I was like, oh, this is some kind of interesting stuff, and now it's just this, like, there's so many articles on there that you see the headline, and then you read the article and you're like, oh, that's. There was one about Donald Trump. I remember it was like Donald Trump rips on soldiers for being weak or something like that, and I was like, well, that's pretty bad. And then I read the article, and Donald Trump just said, like, hey, some people are fine after combat, and some people really can't handle it, and they really need help. And you're like, oh, Donald Trump just said something that was pretty normal, and you called him an asshole for it.
Well, here's the thing. The entire media pretty much ganged up on Donald Trump, trying to get this propaganda going to get Hillary elected. And it backfired because it made people resent the media, and also they're like, well, fuck you, we're going to vote for Trump anyway. And so now, as a result, the media is doubling down on that, and they're just posting false shit now. And this is stuff from like NBC. I posted on our DonaldTrumpHappened.com website about NBC.
DonaldTrumpHappened.com. Please go to it now, please.
The NBC, they got all pissed off because Donald Trump didn't let them follow him to dinner. And they said this is the least transparent administration of all time. And like, his administration didn't start yet, and he wanted to have dinner with his family. Like, you don't have to tag along. He's not president yet. So, like, this is the way the media is going to be for like the entire presidency.
Do either of you guys have Showtime?
Yeah.
No.
Did you watch The Circus?
I did. I just can't watch everything. I saw that and it looked like it was interesting, but I didn't watch it. Was it good?
It was one of the best.
Tell
What?
people what it is what is it?
Well, I mean, it's probably, you probably can't go back and watch it now at this point because it was a documentary with these two reporters, John Hallman and Marc Helprin, who wrote a book. They wrote the book about
They wrote a big book about Sarah Palin that was turned into a movie for HBO.
Yeah. And so it was them and then this other guy, Mark McKinnon. And they basically, all of them had all access to like all of the candidates. And the show started out in the winter during all the primaries. And they basically just went like with everybody. Every episode is kind of different, like with each campaign or whatever. Really good, like behind the scenes stuff. So they did like all that whole part. And then they were off for a while. Then they came back for the conventions. Then they were off again for a little while. And then they picked up again with the debates and everything. And I didn't really watch it. I watched all the campaign stuff, all the convention stuff. Didn't really watch it when it came back for the debates and stuff. But I watched the last couple episodes, and the last episode is so good, but so frustrating. It's like watching like.
So
it's like
what happened?
Well, it was just it's a documentary. It's behind the scenes of all the campaigns.
Yeah.
So like, so this last episode, like they're with, the Clinton people on election night, and they're all like, oh, our numbers are coming in good. I think we're going to be good. And they're interviewing people who are at the Javits Center for the party, and everybody's all excited. They think she's going to win. And then all of a sudden, then they're at the Trump thing, and they're nervous. They're not sure what they're doing. And it's like watching, because it's on after the fact, and you know what's going to happen. It's like watching like 9/11, and you're like staring at the building, like that building is coming down. Nobody knows, but it's coming down. And you're just watching it, and you're like, these people have no idea what's going to happen. And then all of a sudden, and then like they were on Colbert that night, and one of the guys announced that I think it was Florida went for Trump, and Colbert started swearing, and he didn't know what to do, and it was just really well done. And it was, it's frustrating to watch, but it was really, really cool to watch, even though it was a shitty ending.
That's a horrible ending.
But it was a really well done documentary.
I think instead of 9/11, maybe it's more like Bambi, because you're like,
no, it's like watching the Zapruder film.
They're gonna shoot his mom.
It's like watching the Zapruder film. You see Kennedy, and you're just like, don't turn down there, because something bad's gonna happen. And they, they're interviewing one of these guys, and he's like, yeah, our numbers coming in for Florida are pretty good. I'm starting to like our chances. It might be a late night, but I think she's in good shape. And then like 20 minutes later, it's like a funeral over there.
Ay.
On a lighter note, let's go to questions.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Okay.
Do either of you guys eat peanut shells?
I I don't, but I have tried that before.
The actual shells of the peanut?
Yeah.
They're kind of
No.
salty. So I suck them. I like salty stuff. Like like a ball game.
Yeah.
And then I have like eaten one or two. I do think I know there are people that actually do that, and I think that's really weird. But I have like sucked on the shells and have tried it before. Do you do this?
Jay?
Right.
No, I don't.
Yes, I do. I eat. My whole life I've eaten. I just take them out of the bag and just eat them. And I was eating them at work yesterday, and somebody started yelling at me saying that was like the worst thing you could do. It's terrible for you. And I was like, that's bullshit. Everybody eats peanut shells. So I have $2 in my wallet, and I bet this girl $1 that I could get other person in the office to say they like peanut shells, and everybody thought I was fucking crazy. So I lost $1 out of my $2. But I thought I even said to my dad, I was like, Dad, I go, you eat peanut? No. He goes, you don't either. I'm like, yes, I have. I have my whole life. I'll buy a bag of peanuts, and I don't leave any crumbs. I just eat the whole thing.
I've
But
never even
apparently
heard
it's
of
very
that.
unhealthy for you.
I've never heard of that before.
Did they take you to get tested afterwards?
No, but one girl looked it
Not
up.
for
and
health,
said,
but for retardation.
no, well, they pretty much know I'm retarded. So I never knew that was like
Eating a large quantity of peanut shells may provide fiber, but can interfere with normal digestive functions. There you go. Do you have problem with digestive functions, Bri?
Not really, but I mean, but literally, like I there was a big bag of peanuts on sale at the grocery store I bought, and I put them in a little Ziploc bag, and I brought it to work, and I was eating them, and it's probably the first time I've had shelled peanuts in like 2 years. So it's not like I do it every day, but it just happened to be something I was doing, and they were just like, "You're crazy."
In a related, just to say like weird things I do. I was at work the other day. I brought a sandwich in Tupperware, and I was eating the Tupperware, and people were like, "Why?" Tupperware?
Almost the same.
You know, like when I take a bite out of the milk bottle, I have to say that's pretty. You really, I can't believe you would do that your whole life. You didn't even know that was like not that was a weird thing to do.
Well, I mean, I didn't. I knew not everybody did it, but I didn't think it was like a total like.
Do you eat the bowl when you finish cereal?
I didn't think it was like a total like. Do you eat the skin on your potato if you have a baked potato?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well I do that too.
I think it's supposed to be like the healthier part of the potato.
Yeah, probably.
Uh,
I just never realized it was such a like.
so Jay, I have a question for you. I have a serious question for you. Would you say, thinking that they are that there was icing in the funfetti box, or eating the peanut shell is a dumber thing to have done?
The funfetti box.
Yeah, the funfetti.
Oh my god, I hate you.
Bride's is more weird. Yours is just dumb.
I disagree completely. Whatever. I see in Trump America, I'm not safe from you good people. Also, Trump's children are going to get security clearance. I don't know. Is there anything else to talk about with Donald Trump?
Andrew wrote, I drove my car to work with my lunchbox in it, and people stared a bit when I started eating my car.
Very funny.
We do have a lot of questions. We might as well do. Is there anything you guys want to talk about besides Jay? Weren't we supposed to call? And not we're going to do it right now. Weren't we supposed to call someone today?
We're gonna have to do that next episode. We're already like 45 minutes in.
Yeah, let's do the questions. We got a lot of good questions.
We're gonna talk about Bride coming to New York and then not hanging out with us.
Oh yeah. Bri. So Bri came to New York on Friday. He was here in New York City. He said, "Hey guys,
I was in New York for 5 hours."
Come on, Bri. Let me speak, Bri. He said, "Hey guys, let's hang out because I'm in New York." Except instead of "Hey guys," he didn't tell me. He just told Jay. And when Jay said, "Hey, cool, I'll come meet you," Bri said, "Gotta go now. See you later. I'm leaving."
Pretty much.
First of all, that's not how it went. First of all, that's not how it went.
Okay, enlighten us.
I messaged Jay. I said I was coming to the city. I didn't have a lot of time, and I was hoping that where I was going to be was close to where he worked, so we could try to meet up for like happy hour or something. Because I was going to this stupid event thing.
What time was happy hour at like 2 p.m.? What event?
5?
What event?
I had the day off because it was Veterans Day.
I didn't know you were a veteran. What were you here for?
I went to a book signing reading thing.
Why do you have to be? Who was the book writer? Who's
All right.
the author?
So Maynard, the lead singer of Tool, wrote a book. He's going on this stupid little tour where it was like a where he talks about the book, he reads from the book, people ask him questions. It was like this dumb event. I read the book.
Why did you drive? You drove like 2 hours for a dumb little event. You must have been really excited. You must have been driving the whole way, being like, "I'm going to see the lead singer of Tool. I'm so excited. I just can't hide it. I know. Tool loves me."
Actually, I took the train in. I didn't drive in.
It must have been weirder when you were pretending to drive on the train.
Yeah, probably.
Were you singing to yourself?
No.
Like Tool songs? I want prison sex. Yay!
No, actually, I was cursing the whole time because the train got stuck like 3 times on my way into the city.
Oh, that's like my daily commute.
Because I hate trains and yeah. So I had to go to this thing at 6:30, and I didn't know if Jay was working or how late he works, and I was hoping if he got out at like 4 or something we could have met, but he said
why didn't you just invite Jay? Go, hey Jay, do you like Tool?
Well, it was sold out.
It was sold out.
So it was only like 200 seats or 200 people or something.
It was that you had to go out of your way to get tickets to this thing that you call the stupid little event.
I bought a ticket a long time ago.
Well,
so here's what happened. So I bought a ticket a long time ago, and I didn't want to. When I bought the ticket, like in August, I wasn't going to be like, "Hey Jay, I'm coming in on November 11th. Let's make plans." I was going to wait and then figure it out then. But at the last minute, like 2 weeks before, my significant other person decided she was going to go, and she bought a ticket too.
And Jay said, "Oh, that's great! I can't wait to meet your significant other." And Bryce said, "No, you're not."
Because she wouldn't know anything fun if it fell on her. I was like, let's go, like try to meet up with Jay or we'll go out after. And she's like, I don't want
to. I think she probably said, let's meet up with Jay. And Bryce said, I don't know any Jay, but he's like your best friend. No, he doesn't exist. Let's get out of here. Let's leave New York now.
Yeah, Andrew's theory is Bri get nervous about me meeting your girlfriend.
It has to be, Bri. Come on.
Actually, no, it didn't.
It totally is. For some reason, you don't want Jay to meet your girlfriend.
That was not even a thought that popped into my mind.
Really?
I was hoping that after the show we were going to go out, but she was like, "Oh, I don't want to," because I thought we were going to. Originally, I was like, "Well, if you're going, let's stay in the city for the night." And I was like, I could call Jay, we could stay with him or whatever. And she's like, "Oh no, I don't want to. I got to get home." And I was like, "Well, I mean, I don't want to just get out and go home." But
I do have a second bedroom. Just throwing that out. I do have a second bedroom if you ever do want to stay.
Can we cut to this conversation?
No more role.
Why don't you ever let me meet your friends?
All right, let's go to questions. Let's see. Email.
Right.
So anyways, if I could just wrap up my day in New York real quick.
Oh, yeah.
When I got there, we walked down Fifth Avenue, and it was the Veterans Day Parade, of all things. And then when we got we were over at Lincoln Center, and we got out, we took a cab back. And that's the other thing. Her cousins ended up going, so we had to meet her cousins for dinner before the thing, which is a whole other story. So we're in a cab going back to Grand Central, and next thing I know, we're parked right in front of Trump Tower.
Oh, the protests.
All these guys with not motorcycles, machine guns and helmets and bulletproof vests. And I'm like, where the fuck are we? And I look up and it's Trump Tower. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then we went the cab moved like 50 feet forward and there was a bunch of protesters across the street.
Yep.
And one had the best sign I've ever seen. It said, "All pussies matter."
Nice.
And then I got on the train and this old lady for 20 minutes threw up into a plastic bag right across from me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's New York for you.
Yeah. There's these 2 drunk guys, and there was this old couple, and the guy gets up and he goes over to the drunk guys and he's like, "Can I have that bag? Are you guys going to use it?" And I'm watching the guy. I'm like, why the fuck does he need a bag? And I'm like, nothing good ever happens like that. And then like a minute later, he sits down next to her and he has his arm around his wife or whoever. And I look, and she's got her finger down her throat, and I go, "Oh, this isn't going to be good." Next thing I know, I just hear, and I'm like, "Oh, you are not like we're not even." If you've ever taken the train, well, Mark, you probably have, like to like Connecticut, like out of Grand Central, we're not even like out from underground yet.
That's wonderful.
So it's like 45. The next stop was Stamford. It was like 50 minutes, and this lady's throwing up, and I'm like, if it's gonna smell in here, then I'm gonna puke, and everybody else is gonna start puking, and this is gonna be a bad scene.
I've never been able to do the finger down the throat thing, no matter how bad I wanted to throw up.
Oh, I could do it. I can be like a sorority girl. I could totally do it.
The whole
I don't
time I
know.
kept thinking of that Patton Oswalt bit where he's on the plane and the guy has the barf bag next to him. But it was brutal.
Could you ask? I have one important question.
Yeah.
Does your girlfriend eat the peanut shells?
I don't think so. I didn't ask her.
It's just like, okay, I'm just gonna put the peanut shells down. If she cracks them open, I will not propose. But if she eats them, maybe I'm gonna hit my knees.
But anyways, I am completely 100% down to come to New York by myself for the night as soon as possible when we can all figure out a time when we're all there.
That sounds like a great idea, liar.
Now the pressure's on you, Mark, to actually come out on a weekend.
Okay, I think I got it. Can I just?
I can't go. I can't come on the 2nd, and I can't come on the 16th of December. But any other time.
Okay, I'm down. You guys tell me when you want to come, and I'll make it work. Why don't you get your ability to record elsewhere, and we record in Manhattan, Jay?
Sure, I'll figure that out. I'm very technically savvy. On a completely unrelated
Do you
note,
think anyone that's found this website, this podcast, and is like, oh, Trump, and starts listening, is like, oh, what the fuck am I listening to?
Oh, these guys don't like Trump.
They don't like Trump. I don't know what the hell they're talking about. This guy's talking about eating peanut shells. We have a lot of questions.
I tuned in for political commentary, and they spent 20 minutes talking about eating peanut shells.
By the way, so just to go over for you people that want to look at our website, tell you some things that are on there. There's I put in a post about why I'm shocked that I cannot believe a white Christian male is president. Another one. Jay has a comment about the top secret clearance for the kids, how that's insane. There's another post about why did Trump happen. There's a lot of good stuff on there. I even put a post about, hey, George Bush would probably be a worse. Trump would have to be really, really terrible to be as bad as George Bush. So
See, that's a pro-Trump article.
yeah, it's a pro. I mean, like that. I mean, seriously, to be as bad as Bush, like he'd have to have the worst terrorist attack happen on American soil.
You mean plan the worst terrorist attack on
Oh
American
yes,
soil?
plan. Yes.
Go with the program, Mark.
Bri, why don't you post the conspiracy stuff? If we post the conspiracy stuff, our website will take off. Really, if you started doing it, Mike, instead of telling us to fuck off, would probably be like, "Ooh, I love your website. Now that you talk about how Obama and Hillary are going to kill our babies." George Bush, the economy collapsed. He had maybe the worst foreign policy blunder of the last 100 years. A lot of pretty good things on his part.
So this is a unrelated note to us doing a remote podcast, but if any of our listeners know how to do a remote podcast, the brinkofsanity@gmail.com. I just want to see how you do it.
Can't we just stand around with each other on our cell phones, calling each other, and
that may be how it ends up happening.
Yeah, and just record it somehow.
Yeah,
I haven't decided if I'm going to go to your place, Jay. Does it make more sense for me to take the train to your place and then take the train home, or should I just drive to you? I don't know, because Queens is not that far away
right?
From Long Island. But if I'm in the city, after work, I'll take a train to your place. But then the train back to the city, and then to get on the train to
Yeah, how far is if I came in from Grand Central, how long would it take me to get to your apartment? An hour?
No.
No. It's
2 hours?
4
you can
hours.
get there in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just that taking the 30 minutes from there.
Yeah.
To at late at night, also when you're leaving Queens late at night, the trains come once.
Yeah.
That's it, and it just takes a while.
The only thing I'm thinking is you're probably going to want to have a couple beverages, so I don't know how that's going to work.
Yeah. Anyway, but I'll come. We'll have a night. We also should do for our Knicks one, have a Knicks meetup again.
Yes.
I'll come to that.
I
should just come down for a full day. We could just burn out 4 shows.
Yeah. Why don't we can like hold hands and like skip through like Central Park? It'll be wonderful.
We could do like a Knicks one and a Brink one and a Trump one. And
Do you remember like I think the first Knicks meetup we did? In honor of that, they had that giant terrorist attack in France, and we were like watching the Knicks game and like, oh wow, France has just been
Oh yeah, it was the
destroyed.
same day.
It was the same day. We were looking at the paper like, holy shit, I cannot believe this is happening the same night.
So yes, the brinkofsanity@gmail.com. First, we'll go to emails. All right, we're done with emails. Twitter.
Wait, the Donald Trump happened at Gmail. You can email us there.
Donald Trump happened at gmail.com.
If you want to write for our site, we'll probably just send you the password along with Jay's bank account information. And if you want to write for our site, you can. If you always wanted a political blog to write, this is your opportunity. We will join with you. We want people who are dedicated to posting things. Our site is going to be huge.
it's gonna be the new something.
Andrew is
yeah.
saying our Knicks Brink meetup in Australia will be huge.
Yes, it'll be gigantic. Someone actually just sent me another post for the site that I'm going to put up. So we have more.
Who sent that? Oh, the person not to be named.
Yes.
Oh wow, he's actually alive. Okay.
Yeah. He was sending me all these ideas. So he kept talking about like design for the website and how it had the great design. He had to work
Do
on
I know
it.
this person?
No,
I don't. Let's not even talk about it.
no,
But,
he doesn't.
Because he'll kill us if he's actually mentioned on the air.
Yeah.
I'm just curious. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just curious who it might be.
I don't think you know them anyway.
No,
it's a good friend of mine. But anyway, he kept giving me his So I was like, we need content. And he kept going, oh, the web design. We need goddamn content before we can talk about what the website's going to look like. Anyway, or get really concerned about what the website's going to look like.
No, I disagree. I think if people go to a crappy looking website, they're going to get turned off.
If they go to a really good looking website with no content, they're not going to be turned on.
Well, you need
just
both.
a blank website.
You need
we have
both.
Everyone's going crazy about like, oh, it should do this, you should do that. I'm like, first off, WordPress is fine. There are lots of WordPress sites out there. Second, there's nothing. We've produced nothing. Anyway, so he was IMing me, like messaging me today, telling me like, oh, you should write about that. You should write about that. And I'm like, oh, how about you write about that?
It's a good point.
So he wrote about that. And he said,
Well, you remember how this was your idea and we did all this because of your suggestion?
yeah, no, it doesn't have to be. There's no reason. I totally understand why he does. I was just like, the internet's anonymous. He's like, it's not that anonymous. And I'm like, fine, whatever.
No, it's literally anonymous if he wants it to be. But
whatever. Whatever. Anyway, so we have a lot of questions. Let's go to the questions. The questions are fun.
Okay.
I looked at the questions today.
So we just covered email. Let's go to Twitter. Brink of Sanity 3 on Twitter. All right, we're done with Twitter questions. Let's go to
right.
Facebook.
Did you ask on Twitter for questions?
I did not.
Well, then how are people going to ask you questions?
We now
I always
have-
ask for the next one.
We now have 3 Twitter accounts. This is getting out of control.
Yeah, Jay and I also were just saying how, like, the fact that we have 3 sites now, this is not going to last very long. Bryce, so you should definitely write for this site that's not going to be around very long.
Okay.
If you the more you write for us, the better. So also, I paid $5 to have this one post like promoted.
Sucker.
And so it says I have $3.34 left of the $5.
Oh, cool. We might get cursed out by 3 or 4 more rednecks before your money runs out.
All right.
It's going to last for one day, my promotion. And they're going to spend, I guess, like, I think people clicking on it, like, costs you money. And so no one's clicking on it. So basically, that's why my $3.34 are still left.
Shouldn't that make you money when somebody clicks on it? That seems backwards.
Well, like, you're paying them to, like, spread your article out past, like, your normal, like to spread it out to people that might be interested in your article. And so when people click on it, then, like, you owe them money. Kind of like an advertisement. When you click on an ad for Tide gets whatever, I don't know how advertising works. I don't know how anything really works.
That's probably why none of our stuff is popular.
Probably.
None of us have any idea how to promote. I wish someone knew how to. If anyone is out there that knows how to promote anything, please join us. And you could be our king. You could be our Donald Trump. You could lead our website.
We have 3 podcasts, and I think
So pretty much, if anybody out there knows how to do anything about anything, please give us a call.
Yeah, I think we have 3 podcasts and 5 websites, and we don't really understand how the internet works. So
And less listeners.
yeah, it's not a good combination.
Jacqueline posted on our Trump page, I hate to admit it, but trolling Trump on Twitter is one of my guilty pleasures. It's been very therapeutic for me. Thank you, Jacqueline.
Hey, somebody not yelling at us. That's nice.
Yeah, and for those that forgot from earlier in the episode, Mike said to me, how about Obama speak the fuck up since his party was the one who started this by calling Trump fascist. Fuck out of here, asshole. I want to read that again for how wonderful. And also, now on Facebook, I have a bunch of likes. There's a bunch of likes for this article, and Mikey and Rita posted angry. Why would Facebook create a thing where you can say you're angry?
Why not?
But like, it's a weird thing, like that you could post that you're angry. Like, I get the like thing, and I understand that like was not appropriate for like my grandpa died. Like, but my grandpa died angry. That really needed to be a choice.
Oh, Andrew's bringing up old sore moments now.
What?
He said we should combine all our Twitter names into one account. Remember when I tried to do that with Nick of Sanity? That's how I lost my Brink of Sanity handle in the first place. I tried to combine the two, and I called it Nick of Sanity, and then I realized that's stupid. And then I tried to go back to Brink of Sanity, and some asshole snatched it up and tweeted twice and sat on it for the next 5 years.
Thanks a lot, Andrew.
Well, Jay and I've told Jay this before off the air that the way this is really going to work out for us is someone's going to figure out that DonaldTrumpHappened.com is a pretty cool website name and buy it from us for like $10,000. How much, Jay? What kind of offer would you have to be made to give this all up right now? Someone wants the website and wants all of it.
$30.
Well, if you got offered $30, Jay, would you be done?
I think it cost us about 50. So
52.
Yeah. No, I think it cost us even more than that. Anything over 100, I think that would recover our lost sunk costs.
Listen, Shark Tank. I'm gonna have a website, Donald Trump, and I want investors. If you can put in $100, I'll shut the site down.
I will offer you 97% of our company for $103.
I want 3% because I'm happy to work for you as an employee.
Right. I just need you to teach me literally everything.
You know how our Nick site is like really big in Australia?
Yeah.
Legitimately we get a lot of downloads in Australia. Maybe like the time difference when I go to sleep, when I wake up in the morning, we will blown up in Australia.
That is
and then
true.
we're
Maybe
definitely
it's
going to
delayed.
Australia.
You're gonna get all the Australian rednecks cursing you out. So, Facebook questions.
Okay.
That's all we got. No, just kidding. We have a lot of Facebook questions. Alan writes, "Can
Mike
Mark?"
writes, "Why haven't you gone to fuck yourself?"
He just stalks all our pages. Alan writes, "Can Mark invite that Jewish lady on? Ask her about Stephen K. Bannon bringing anti-Semitic, nationalist, and racist views to the White House."
Okay, so my wife has also now accused me of defending Trump too much because she'll say something and I'll be like, she's like, I can't believe Trump is appointing that white supremacist O'Bannon to his administration. And I said, well, he's allowed to appoint whoever he wants. O'Bannon was a key figure in his campaign, and he hasn't actually been proven to be a white supremacist, though he has a website that is a white supremacy website. Him himself, you don't really know about his views. And she's like, what the hell's wrong with you? Why are you supporting Trump? I'm not supporting Trump. I'm just trying to like make sure we're clear on the facts here.
So you're getting divorced. That's the big news.
She's like, yeah, she's not appreciated my I'm just like, well, why don't we just see what happens with Trump presidency? Maybe the Democrats could work with him. Work with him. He wants to make a wall, kick out all the immigrants. Well, you don't know he's really going to do any of that stuff. I mean, a lot of things to say during campaigns don't really actually happen. She's like, are you insane? I'm like, let's just work with the facts here. She really does not like when I try to like be a little more like middle of the road here on Trump, because I'm hoping things get better. I wrote a piece also on our website where you see me talking about how the Democrats should really try to work with Trump because we're kind of screwed if they can't find some middle ground to work together.
You horrible person.
I don't know which Jewish person he's talking about. What Jewish old lady? Like my my
I don't
mother-in-law.
know. I have no idea.
There are a lot of Jewish ladies in my family. Actually, we are filled with like probably more than half of Jewish ladies.
Pretty much every lady.
Anyway, so I said to my wife also when she's talking about like Steve Bannon or anyone else that he's considering for the administration, I was like, whatever fringe asshole he's considering, you have to think about the fact that we elected a fringe asshole, so anyone he's considering can't be as bad as him. She didn't like that one either. Okay, she's not like our discussion so far about Trump.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I think Alan and Stephen went on to have a little fight where Alan apologized to Stephen.
Stephen writes,
nice.
Why is Mark so bad at English?
Well, it's my first language. So Stephen was like messaging me about, he's like, your post is like, there's so many grammatic mistakes in it and spelling, but like he just was going on. I was like, Stephen, do you want to edit my post for me? If not, leave me the fuck alone. And anyway, so then he was pointing out, here are the issues. He's like, you don't have 3 exclamation points. You never need more than 1 exclamation point. Even a high school dropout knows that. And I'm like, yeah, I get that, Stephen. I don't need 3 question marks, 3 exclamation points. I'm just doing it for emphasis because I want someone to click on the damn article. I don't know. Jay, would you consider that in my article, my postings, they're not exactly professional writing, and the fact that I have 3 exclamation points, would you say, Mark, you screwed up, or Mark meant to do that even though it's not necessarily correct?
That was a little nitpicky.
It's really nitpicky, basically.
The comment I made, I think, was legit.
What was your comment? That the post that didn't make any sense and I had to rewrite because you're right. It didn't make any sense?
Well, that and where you were talking about like one group of people and then you started saying we halfway through the article.
Oh, no, Jay, you're right. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I am a terrible writer. I have grades from school, like from high school and college to prove that. And so it's really unfortunate that I've been like doing a lot of posting, and we probably need people to actually know how to write. So I'm just writing. I'm really bad at writing. It was never my strength in school. I was always more of a math person. It would be very helpful if you wanted me to do like some arithmetic or like quadratic equation related to Trump. I might be better at that.
Stephen writes, I'm playing Heretic right now. It's like 1995 up in this bitch. Did Jay play Heretic back in the day? Or was he more of a Doom guy? Neither. I was more of a Quake guy. Stephen writes, when will America have his first openly satanic president?
I don't know, Stephen. That's a great idea.
This country's way too religious for that to ever happen. Stephen writes, how would you guys get rid of a body?
That's a good question. That I remember I read some.
Put it in a suitcase and bury it in New Jersey, like that guy that they just did.
Well, if you know about it, then he didn't do a good job.
I kind of like the Breaking Bad disintegrated in acid approach.
I feel like. Do you remember the movie Snatch?
Yeah.
That was a good
movie. It was a good movie.
And I think he had like pigs eat the body.
Yep.
Like he would eat the bones.
Mm-hmm.
That I thought was a pretty clever way of doing it.
Yeah, but then you'd need to find a bunch of pigs, unsupervised.
You know what I would do?
I don't know where you find unsupervised pigs. Maybe you know something I don't. Especially living in Manhattan.
I would set up a I still stand with Hillary fan club, and I'd leave the body there.
I would just bring the body down south, and I would dress it up in a suit, and I would say it's an Obama effigy, and all the rednecks would just stomp the shit out of it until they didn't realize it was a real person.
I would take it, put it in Times Square, put a sign on it. I need $1 for subway for I need money for bus fare,
mm-hmm.
and no one will ever go near it.
I'll put it in Trump's cabinet.
There you go.
Yes. I know what I would do. I would. I don't know what I would do with the dead body per se, but whoever was related to it, I would stick Bry on him and tell him how he's a bad person for trying to like talk about the fact that he had a relative that died.
I would let that British nanny babysit it, and then it would just disappear.
I don't know how the best way you really like. Could you imagine? Let's say like Bry's over, and you accidentally murdered Bry.
Mm-hmm.
How are you going to get rid of his body? What do you do?
It was no accident.
Yeah, it's no accident. But we're like, you realize this is going to go over poorly for you, especially because you recorded the murder on the Brink of Sanity podcast. And so if it ever becomes popular, you might go away from murder.
Mm-hmm.
And after recording the fact that you murdered him, you decided to release the episode anyway because we need downloads.
I was like, this will get ratings.
So we're in your apartment in Queens, and Bry's.
What's the address?
Queens is pretty big. So anyway, so Bry's dead on the floor. What do we do now? Let's go over the plan.
I think we need to get a saw.
I don't think we're gonna be able. Well, first, where are you gonna get a saw? Would you live near a store? Like it's right now. It is 11
You live by
PM.
the saw store?
There's a Home Depot fairly close. I mean, it's probably like a 2-hour walk, but it's like an 8-minute drive.
2-hour walk. Oh wait, but Jay walks really fast, so the Home Depot could be in China.
Well, no, I mean, we'll take a cab to a Home Depot. All right.
You're gonna leave a rotting dead body in your apartment?
It's not going to instantly like draw flies.
You're going to leave a paper trail with a cab?
You got a couple hours first.
You remember from past murders?
We're going to recreate. Well, no.
We're going very bad things, Jay?
Yeah, exactly. This is exactly.
Do
what
you
we're
have
doing.
any movies about how people get rid of dead bodies?
Where they got away with it. They just got too nervous afterwards.
You know, the saw. Could it cut through, I don't know, wood or human flesh?
So yeah, we get a saw.
You get one of those you call up, you're like, okay, Ginzu, I will take your knives. I've seen you cut through bone on the commercials.
Can you deliver here in the next 3 hours? Because it's going to get real smelly in here otherwise. So yeah, we put Brian in the tub.
Could you put it in a pizza box and then try to return him to the pizza guy?
I'm sorry.
Like,
Sew me into a jacket and bring me back to Zara and say that I was in the jacket.
Hey, Papa John's, I ordered pepperoni and you gave me a dead corpse on top of my pizza.
That sounds like
Hey, Amazon Prime. I ordered the newest Walking Dead comic, and you sent me a box of a corpse.
I would put me in a box and send me back to Columbia House and say this is not the director's selection.
Yeah, I ordered 10 CDs for $1, and you sent me a dead Bry.
Excuse me, New York Times. I wanted the Sunday paper.
Not the 220-pound corpse. Sorry. All right, so
okay,
I think we covered.
I was listening to this. I found this podcast about Donald Trump, and halfway through it,
It just evolved a little bit.
I can't even. Could you hire a dog walker and be like, "No, that's my dog. You murdered my friend. What the fuck?"
It's weird. Episode 1 was called Donald Trump It Happened, and episode 2 was called Getting Rid of a Corpse.
Getting rid of the corpse of one of the hosts.
That's literally going to be the name of this episode, by the way.
I'll just never be on the show again. People are like, did they really kill him? He seems to have disappeared.
Andrew wrote, I ordered a Brink. Andrew wrote, I ordered a Brink T-shirt, and I got a dead body. This isn't what I ordered.
Oh my god. So Bry is dead on the floor.
Yeah.
You can't Google how to get rid of a dead body, because if you Google that after you have a dead body, you're really in prime suspect because they look at your computers.
Right.
Yeah.
You
could probably look it up on my phone.
I already told you I'm getting an Uber to Home Depot and I'm getting a saw. Then I'm dragging.
Can we take Bry in the? I know it would be Weekend at Bernie's, but can we take him in the Uber and then leave him in the Uber? Like just put him with all the seats. Like,
hey, what smells in here? Is it the dead body or the driver?
Well, yeah, it's
three people got in, only 2 left. My math isn't perfect, but
it's weird. 3 people got in.
Just throw me in the cab and say, "Hey, could you guys drive my friend till he stops talking?"
Where to, fella? Middle of the Atlantic Ocean, if you don't mind.
Just drive me till my heart explodes.
It was weird. 3 people got in the cab, and then I started slowing down toward a stop sign, and 2 of them tuck and rolled out of the cab.
And the third one stiffed me on the cab fare.
I like also how we tucked and rolled when the car was slowing down at a stop sign, as if the car would just be like parked right next to us. Be like, you tucked and rolled. I'm still here.
See, this is why I wouldn't make a good criminal. Instead
Hey, I
of,
didn't know you had a doorman. Oh wait, that's just dead Bry at the front of the building.
I mean, I guess we could weekend at Bernie's him up to the subway and then just put him on the N train.
Yeah, I mean, I always thought it would be the best thing to do, just throw him in front of a subway, as the train's pulling up, throw him in front of the train, and that way his body will be like crushed from that.
It's not bad. I mean, if you wait till like 2 a.m. and then you try and
They have
you
cameras
put
down there, don't they?
you put one of his arms over each of you. I guess I would have to call a buddy to do this, and then we just pretend he's really drunk and we're dragging him to the subway.
Hey, Mark, what are you up to? Not much. Getting late. I just put my kids to bed. Hey, do you want to come over? Yeah, I mean, my kids are just to bed. Hey, wait, come over right now. Why? What are you doing? Getting rid of a dead body. I'm sorry, what? Yeah, I need help getting rid of a dead body. Just come on over. I need your help. Next time you have a dead body at your place, I'll come over to your place.
I'll owe you 1 corpse removal.
You know, halfway through, we're all like, "Oh, remember that line from from Pulp Fiction about the dead storage? I can't say the N word. Dead N-word storage.
Knowing me, how good I am at crime, I would email you and be like, "Thanks, Mark, for last night. I owe you 1 corpse removal to make up for the one you helped me with yesterday."
Now you remember to take Bry's wallet and put it in the trash, right? On the corner of 46th and 3rd.
10 minutes later, I get a doorbell's ringing.
Maybe one of those Facebook posts where Jay would be like, you know, sometimes people say people don't come through with you. Mark Kaplan, when I was murdering Bry, so you linked to Bry's Facebook page.
No, Jay would post, since Bry's not around anymore, we're looking for a 3rd host.
Right.
I can't tell you why Bry's not around, but here's a murder picture of his dead body.
Thanks for visiting. Thanks for coming to New York, Bry. Hope you got home safe. Wink, wink.
No one knows where Connecticut is anyway. Maybe it was that politician whose family got murdered. Maybe he decided to do some murdering himself. Home invasion probably happened. Anyway.
So Stephen writes, did Jay get molested as a kid? Is this why he can't shower and get dressed at the gym?
Yes. No. By the way, Stephen, these are some of the best questions you've ever asked. Jay, what the hell's wrong with you?
Right.
Did we talk about this with you?
I don't think so.
No, you weren't. Doc was on last episode. So, Bri, you ever go to a gym?
No.
Okay. You remember in like the locker room in like gym class? Would you get changed in the locker room?
Naked change.
We never did showers in gym. We just changed our clothes to know.
Just for what you did. If let's just say you said, "Hey, I'm going to work out now," and you went to work out before work, would you take a shower at the gym?
No.
See, I'm not so crazy.
He eats peanut shells. How crazy are you? What?
Of course, this is a guy who takes his entire top of shirt off to take a shit.
Who?
What?
You do, bro.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. That's.
You take your shirt off to shit?
Yeah, if I'm home.
Wait, but Jay, how do you know that? Like, when you were like,
I lived with Bri.
I was sitting with Bri in the bathroom, and he was shitting in front of me, and he wasn't wearing a shirt.
Jay was trying to kill me while I was on the toilet, and I didn't have a shirt on.
I lived with Bri for 2 years.
But you walked in, you spent a lot of time with him while he was shitting?
No, sometimes he'd be in his bedroom, and then he'd take his shirt off and then go into the bathroom.
Oh, he went to it in the bathroom? He had to do it before he got to the bathroom?
Yeah.
Wait, why would you have to do it before you... Now, not that I understand taking your shirt off in general to take a shit, because that's kind of weird, but I would think, hey, I'm in the bathroom, I have enough space to do this, so I can just take my shirt off here.
We had a dirty...
It was my home. My room was right next to the bathroom, so it wasn't like I wasn't like strutting down the hallway like with my big belly hanging out.
And we had a pretty dirty bathroom, so...
Yeah.
Bri, I'm gonna go over with the company policy again with you. I know it's not actually in our employee handbook, but you can't take your shirt off at your desk before you go to the bathroom.
Bri just takes his shirt off at his cubicle and then walks to the bathroom at work.
Bri, why are you not wearing? I'm gonna take a shit, boss, and I don't want to shit with a shirt on, and I don't want to take my shirt into the bathroom. You see the logic. Anyway, I know I probably gave you some ideas too.
Our Donald Trump Facebook page just got a new like.
Yeah,
up to
no.
29
But to answer your
likes.
original question, I have never and probably would never shower at the gym.
See, there you go.
Well, no, hang on. Just why do you take? Now I understand it was your home in Castle living with Jay, but why not take your shirt off when you get to the bathroom? Why did you take your shirt off before you left your bedroom?
It was like you said. It was like 3
My bedroom was
steps.
3 steps from the bathroom.
Yeah.
No, I don't have any like. But why would you think like got to get the shirt off before I enter the bathroom? That's my part that I don't understand.
Well, I probably didn't know anybody was watching me. Number one.
No, if you're let's just say you live by yourself, why would you? Why do you want your shirt off when you shouldn't? Like what's the thing there?
I don't know.
Did you when you were like potty trained when you were a kid, you like didn't want a shirt on?
I don't know. I don't remember that far back. Probably. I mean, I doubt that was anything.
My son used to wear these like pajamas going to bed, and one day decided he did not want to wear a shirt at night, and so he just doesn't wear a shirt at night anymore. I don't know what happened, but now he refuses to wear shirts.
Your son is already turning into Bri.
Oh my god!
This is what you
It's
have to
all
look forward
downhill.
to. Yeah.
Yeah, he did talk about how he was upset about that politician with the home invasion thing. If I say I'll test him. I'll give him a peanut shell. If he tries to eat it, then I'll
I'll have a talk with him.
yeah. Oh yeah. So I'm just saying, would you be against taking it? Like, you wouldn't normally do it, but do you think it? Would you be so against showering? Do you feel so weird about changing in front of other men?
Yes.
See?
Oh my god.
But that's because I have a small dick. So.
Okay, so let's say, Bri, you got a new job.
I'm gonna keep getting on co-hosts that don't want to shower at gyms. You're just gonna think you're mad.
Oh my god.
I'm not
Okay,
gonna have
say,
anyone
Bri,
on the show
You're
ever.
gonna find more people that agree with this than more people that eat peanut shells.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what's kind of a dream move for you in your career right now? Would it be like going to like?
Me?
Yeah.
I want to be a video editor.
Oh, I went to a Northeastern alumni meetup yesterday.
I got an email about one of those.
Yeah, and
Really?
so the very first person I talked to was a video editor.
Oh my! I saw an email.
Hey,
in
you know
our
my old
Brink-
girlfriend lives in New York now?
Which one? The horrible human being one or the
Yeah,
nice
that
one?
one.
Okay.
I think
Okay.
she lives in Brooklyn.
Okay,
course she
so
does.
hang on. Let's not go into too many tangents. I'm moving past the whole thing about changing the bathroom. We can revisit that. I want to hear about Jay. By the way, so we saw an email to our Brink email from a guy saying, "I'm glad I met you last night at the Northeastern alumni event." I was going to ask you about that anyway.
That was the video
I wanna-
editor.
I assume that was the video editor. Thank you, Jay. I want to hear about this meeting with the video editor because this is like Jay just basically stepped near like the whole like you basically met the equivalent of like
What you could have been.
yeah you met like you're like more you met the dream. So tell us about this.
Well, I get there and I got there the same exact time as these two other guys. So yeah, we say hi to each other. We're like, "What class are you from?" And then we do the usual, like, "What do you do?" Very first guy says, "I do video editing," and I almost burst out laughing because I'm like, "I'm gonna get torn apart during tomorrow's podcast."
The other guy's like, "Oh, and I have a successful podcast about comedy."
Right.
Was there anyone you used to know, Jay? Or
No, the last alumni thing I went to, I ran into a girl from WRBB,
okay.
Candace.
Oh yeah.
I assume that's the radio station.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
she want to introduce us to Eminem.
Are you?
yeah,
were
that's
you
true.
trying-
She introduced us to
Are you
Eminem.
trying to meet people there? Like, are you trying to like just see your old friends there, and like, or are you trying to like network?
A little of each.
He's probably trying to get people to write for our Donald Trump website.
Yeah.
Jay, by the way, for the Donald Trump website, why have you not written an article about how the George Bush and the elves planned 9/11?
All right.
It wasn't the elves. Come on now.
Are you gonna put some conspiracy stuff on there?
I mean, I already put the CNN and USA Today posting conflicting stories.
You should put your 9/11 truther stuff on there. Let's see what happens to our website.
Okay.
Suddenly Mikey would be like, "Good post, guys. Glad you're coming around."
Steven writes, "What's grosser than 5 babies in one garbage bag? 1 baby in 5 garbage bags."
Wait, hang on. 2 seconds. Yeah, that's true. I want to hear more about this. So you meet the
Right,
video
like that
editor. What's your first question to him? He's like, "I'm a video editor." You're like, "That was my dream."
Did you say you had to go to Northeastern for that?
Did you ask him how do you become a video editor? Like maybe you could like still get there. Did he say how do I become a video editor? Oh,
I'm glad you asked that.
I studied for my CPA. What did you ask? Did you ask him anything about like how to become a video editor? Like say like I did you tell him you wanted to be a CPA?
What kind of video?
I video editor.
See, the
Did he
problem
edit,
was
like snuff films or
the problem was he was a very quiet talker, so I couldn't hear a lot of what he was saying.
so make up what you think he said. We don't know. We weren't there.
Just like what you must have like leaned in and kissed him.
Just make anything up, Jay. We weren't there. I mean, say the guy works for fucking ESPN. He video edits LeBron James's fucking I don't know.
I was like, can I just sniff you a little bit?
So I had a friend. I forget if you met him. He used to live in New York, and he used to tape. He taped law school tax class. Like it was a job. He taped like the law school tax classes and had to edit those videos, and that was his job. Like he had to tape for NYU. Jay, would that kind of video editing? Would you be interested in doing that?
Sure.
Would you feel like you've made it?
No,
if you were doing
definitely not.
I mean, how hard could that be? Like, why don't you apply for that job?
I applied for a dubbing job, which is basically pressing
Dubstep.
play on one machine and pressing record on the other machine to make a copy of it. 8 hours a day doing that, and I didn't get the job.
You get the interview?
Yeah. I was just about to get hired, and then they called me the next day, and they're like, "Yeah, somebody with like 8 years experience came in and interviewed for the job." And I'm like, "Why the fuck is somebody with 8 years experience interviewing for a dubbing job?"
Yeah, that must be
So then I was like,
great.
all right, that's when I started like asking for a full-time job at the accounting firm, because I was like, all right, this entire industry is fucked.
So did you ask the guy how he made it in video editing? Like what he did? What was
No,
his path?
honestly, I could hardly hear a word he was saying. He was like the like quiet talker episode of Seinfeld. It was like that.
Yeah, no, I get that, but I feel like this is someone you're dying to talk to.
Well, that's why I handed him my card and said, keep in touch.
Call me.
So
Yeah.
your card, by the way, has the Brink of Sanity email on it.
No,
You
it
have
was
a card.
it was the Knicks podcast card. Everyone's handing around like professional.
Oh, you're a successful video editor. Here's my Nick podcast card.
Everyone's handing around professional business cards. I'm like, I have a Brink card and I have a Knicks card. The Brink one, half of the information's outdated. So why don't you have the Knicks card?
What's outdated on it?
Let me grab one and see what's on there.
While Jay is
It's-
stepping away.
No,
Brian,
I'm
are you
here. I
upset
got it
that
right here.
Cespedes-
No, it's not outdated. Other than the
What?
fact that the website doesn't work right now. It has my real phone number, whereas the Knicks one has my Skype phone number. So I'd rather give like the Knicks one away.
Why don't you? I don't know. Why don't you give him like a professional sounding email address, like your name at Gmail, as opposed to Brink of Sanity?
I don't have that.
You have real email addresses. Well,
My-
you actually you have your work email you could give, because you're right. Your regular email does not sound very professional either.
No, I do have one that's my name at hotmail.com. But I go on there like once a month.
But you're going to this networking thing. You're like, here's my Brink of Sanity card.
Well, what am I going to do? I don't have a card for my actual company because they only give that to managers.
Why don't you just make up your own card at work? You could get your own card printed and hand it out at work.
Is
That'd be the funniest shit ever. Actually, you're like, oh, you have my card. Oh, we don't normally give cards to people at your level. Yeah, I had my own made. I'm sorry, what? Yeah, I had my own made. I made up a title for myself also.
Senior editor. Like, we don't have a video editor.
Yeah, I don't understand. You're doing video editing here? Yes.
All right, Steven writes, can Jay buy a gaming PC already? I want to play co-op with him. I'll teach him how to not be a total fucking noob. How about you just buy an Xbox, because I don't feel like spending $700 so you can beat me in a first-person shooter.
Are you going to spend all your time playing video games with Steven?
No, I'm not buying a gaming computer, so I guess not. We're at a standstill. I want him to buy an Xbox. He wants me to spend $1,000 on a computer.
That seems like a pretty like who will give in. We'll tune in next week to the Trump podcast to find out if Jay will buy a gaming computer.
Steven writes, how do you make a baby spin in circles? Nail one of his hands to the floor. Steven says,
This was not one of Steven's better questions. Go on.
let's say your plane crashes in a frozen tundra type area. The dead bodies on the other 14 passengers freeze. It's you and Jay. I guess he thinks Mark is reading this question. Would you guys resort to eating human flesh?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Yeah. I mean, if it's die or eat a human burger, I'm going to eat a human burger.
Can we cook it?
You got to do what you got to do.
I mean, if either of us could figure out how to make a fire before we both die, then we could cook it. But I'm assuming we'd be eating raw flesh because I don't think either of us are very outdoorsy.
So what do we do with Bry's body after we murder him in Queens? We eat his body. That's what we do.
Sweet. That's a way to get rid of me.
Do you think human flesh would taste bad?
I think it would probably taste like chicken.
Yeah, I mean, they always say that. I mean, I don't probably might be the tastiest thing ever. But would you be upset if you were eating something and they told you it was a human being, but it was a human being that wanted to die? Like it was like a terminally ill cancer patient who wanted to be euthanized, and after they euthanized him, they served him up with like a side of mashed potatoes. Would you be upset about eating that?
I don't think I want to eat a cancer person.
Yeah, sure. Might be contagious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's say they say
I'm not
you don't
sure
get cancer
eating
that way.
cancer cells is very good for you. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say there's probably not much research on that topic.
Dear Google, how do I get arrested tonight?
Dear Google, does eating somebody with cancer give you cancer?
I asked Siri, and she called it 911 immediately.
Do you have Siri? Do I have Siri? I don't have Siri set up. I was going to ask Siri.
Here, I have Siri. I can do it. What do we want to ask?
Does eating somebody with cancer give you cancer?
Let's try it. Hang on. Siri, does eating someone with cancer give you cancer?
I'm not sure what you said there.
Anyway, but try again.
She's like, I'm just not hearing this.
Siri, does eating cancer cause cancer?
You kind of messed up the question, but
Oh, fuck you.
Here's what I found on the web for does eating cancer cause cancer.
Let's try again. If you're a cannibal and you eat human flesh with cancer in it, would you get cancer?
Who, me?
Yes, you.
Yes, you dumb fucking bitch.
Siri, where should I get rid of a dead body?
What? Again?
again. Mark, how many times have you asked Siri this?
Siri, do you like to grab the pussy?
I really have no opinion.
Siri, did you vote for Donald Trump?
Okay, I found this on the web for did you vote for Donald Trump?
She didn't really answer the question.
Oh.
Siri, are you a liberal or a conservative?
I don't feel qualified to weigh in on your base political system.
Okay.
Yeah, she hates the two-party system too. Stephen writes,
Wait. Siri, if I got you pregnant, would you be okay with aborting the baby?
Who, me?
she has like she's like a magic 8-ball. She just has 4 responses.
Siri, do you believe in abortion?
It really doesn't matter what I believe. I don't believe that I have beliefs.
Great. Well, that was a new one anyway. Stephen writes, is Jay ever going to get his Asian pregnant? His future daughter won't be able to see through her eyelashes.
Wow, that was a question about Jay's family, his plans for familyhood later on, and a racist remark. We appreciate both. Jay, so are you planning on getting your blind child born soon?
Yeah, sure. Stephen writes, what
Do you? So I have a question. If you did have a kid, would you let Stephen be the godfather?
Never. Stephen writes, what's the last game Jay beat? That would be This War of Mine, The Little Ones.
And then at one point on the Donald Trump podcast, this one guy kept asking video game questions. What the fuck is going on?
Last Steven question. Would you martyr yourself to end Trump's presidency immediately? You get to pick which candidate replaces him. Mike Pence would be gone as well. I would not. I don't think he's going to be that horrible that I would want to die.
Okay, Jay. I'll give the question to you, Jay and Bry. You're both not huge fans of Donald Trump. If they came to you at work and said, if you take $10,000 less a year on salary, we will fix it, and Donald Trump and Pence will not be president.
Yeah, but are they just going to put Hillary in? Because then fuck it.
You can have Jill Stein. You can have whoever you want.
Sure.
I'd be worried about where I work if they could make that happen.
Yeah, we'll take care of things. We take care of stuff here, Brian.
I guess so.
You sell the drugs, and we take care of stuff. Bri, if they'll cut your salary in half, but they'll take care of the presidency for you.
No.
Okay, how's this?
Mark, we're gonna have to unwind you a
on.
little bit. This show is an hour and a half long already, and we're only halfway through the Facebook questions.
Okay, go on.
John wants to be on one of the next couple episodes. John from Random Mass Radio.
Wait, did you just say we need to unwind you, Mark, because the show's going too long? I'm going to read requests to come on the show.
John from Random Mass Radio will be on the show soon. Rosero writes, "Is Mark's sleep apnea nature's way of getting rid of the weak?"
Apparently,
Oh, you have sleep apnea now?
Oh, you missed last episode. My wife she's like the other day was she's like, I think I know what's causing your snoring. You must have sleep apnea. And I was like, my snoring? I don't snore. And she's like, oh yeah, you do. And basically it's been for months, and it's like she's been doing research on it because she's been this much of an issue for her. And anyway, so that's wonderful. I hurt my shoulder, and so I have trouble sleeping on my right side where I normally sleep on. So I sleep on my back, and then I snore. And that's causing a major issue for her. Anyway, she made me sleep in the office bed or our extra bedroom the other night.
Wow.
She was like, I need a goddamn normal night of sleep. Please just sleep in the other room for one night.
So basically, this has turned into the sleep apnea podcast.
Yes, exactly.
We could do a show with our CPAP mask.
Yeah.
I'm back in the bedroom, but yeah.
Rosero writes,
welcome to the world.
"Yep.
Oh God.
After the surgery, I might not need my machine anymore, so you can borrow mine."
You get another free surgery.
I also didn't understand, like, she just jumped to sleep apnea. I'm like, people snore for many reasons. Maybe I'm not at any point waking up in the middle of the night gasping for air. She's like, well, you have sleep apnea. I'm like, you didn't fucking diagnose shit. You just made.
Mark, please get the sleep test. Please get the sleep study.
I'm not doing. That's what she said. Also,
So that we can talk about it on the air.
Yeah, I
you
think
can
you
go-
should listen.
You should go. You can go for a sleep test, Mark.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck. I'll just sleep in the office then. Okay, I don't want to talk about this.
No, she's very smart. I think you should get the sleep study.
Oh my God. I was.
Mark,
You don't know how mad I was that day.
Mark, in all seriousness, if you get the sleep study, we could take care of the president for you.
Yeah.
I actually, if you're gonna put as far as order things, if you could make sure there's icing in the funfetti box, I'll do the sleep study.
We can do that for you.
You
We can
really
make
should
that-
get the sleep study, though.
Okay.
You're not going to
Go
know
ahead.
if you have apnea or not if you don't.
You know what's great also on the Donald Trump website? Jay made logins for each of us, and so I'm posting stuff, and Jay's like, "You're not using the login." I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'll switch to the login. Sorry." Then I post something. He's like, "Mark, you're not using the login I created for you." Oh yeah, I'll switch to that. And Jay doesn't realize I'm never signing out to re-sign in.
You're driving me up. I even gave you the same password, so you didn't even have to change passwords.
And yet I haven't done. I'll get to it, Jay.
Driving me up the wall.
I know it also bothers you too. And I'm like, why would I sign out? I'm already signed in, Jay.
Rosero writes, "Guys, why can't you say you are a Trump supporter without people calling you racist?" Because the media likes to put a spin on everything.
No, but I mean, people do get upset. I mean, it's probably a little bit of like Northeast or liberal, like I think a lot of people don't understand how people can support Trump. But at the same time, I kind of understand the power, the message of change. And every 8 years, you have a president that does jack shit for the people, and so people want something else.
The people who don't understand how you can support Trump are blind to how shitty Hillary is.
I don't know Hillary's that shitty, but whatever. Unless you want the podcast to go on for another hour, you can go to the next question.
Tune in for episode 3 of the Donald Trump podcast, where we debate about how shitty Hillary is.
Episode 3, part 3.
And,
why don't you?
the way this project's going,
our website.
the way this project's going, it may be the 3rd and final episode of the Donald Trump podcast.
It'll be impressive if we get that. Yeah, I guess we're recording next week. I guess John from Random Mass Radio will talk about the view from the Midwest, right?
Yeah.
John, you could join us next week when we're still on the same episode.
Yeah, we got to keep this moving. Rosaire writes, guys, why are people blaming white people again for being racist and the majority of voters in the country?
Can we go back to talking about how you're going to get rid of my dead body?
That was my favorite part of the episode, by far. Yeah, whatever. Our country was founded by a bunch of white Christian males property owners who thought only they should be allowed to vote, and now we're back to those values.
Rosaire writes, what do you think of all the idiot protesters downtown in Trump Towers?
It's fucking stupid.
It's really stupid. It's like,
No,
hey,
can I debate this with you? It's
stupid on so many levels.
yes.
No, if you want to support democracy, you should protest an election.
That was one fairly.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand the point. I don't.
It's
even
like, hey,
understand it.
we're going to just stand by while the DNC rigs their primaries, but then we'll get mad when the candidate they picked for us loses.
Okay, in fairness,
And we're also going to spend 3 weeks before the election mocking Trump, saying that it's all rigged and all his people are going to protest if he doesn't win. And then, oh, wait a minute, our guy lost, our woman lost, and now we're going to protest because we don't see the irony.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is an irony in like getting mad about Donald Trump for not accepting the result of the election, than not accepting the result of the election yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, I don't think Bernie Sanders. I voted for Bernie Sanders. He would not. Whatever the DNC rigging thing you think, he would not have beaten Hillary. Hillary got a lot more votes than he did.
Yeah, because he had literally no media coverage.
There was somewhere they pointed out that a lot of the states she won during the primaries were states that the Democrats had, like they were in the South, but the Democrats had no chance during the election anyway.
Yeah.
Well, all the states that Bernie won, Trump won in the election.
Yeah.
Well, Ohio, Wisconsin.
Yeah, I don't know. And people are also like, sign this online petition to get rid of the Electoral College. And I'm like,
I'll sign that if you can prove to me that on Monday, the day before the election, you wanted to get rid of the Electoral College too.
Oh, I've always wanted to get rid of it, but I also think I've never signed anything online that's done anything.
But I love these people that are like, I'm sure that if Clinton won the Electoral College and Trump won the popular vote, we'd all still want to get rid of the Electoral College. I mean, I'm sure that would happen.
I also the same exact thing happened with Gore 16 years ago, and we had a Democrat president, and we controlled Congress, and we didn't even bring this up.
Yeah, but that Electoral College was a lot closer than this one. I mean, even if you just look, I will say this, I've always wondered why the popular vote didn't count for X amount of electoral votes. Like it should have been 535, and then the popular vote should be like so many votes too.
What are you talking about, Bri?
Like if you win the popular vote, that should count for like, I don't know, 25 electoral votes. So it should be the 535 plus like whatever number is allotted for the popular vote. Like I never understood why it wasn't like both like combined.
I can understand why you wouldn't have been helpful at the Constitutional Convention when they created this thing. Here's an hybrid idea, and then also let's just say let's count if one of the candidates has more toes, they get more electoral votes.
But it's just all sour grapes. I mean, look at the map and see how many states he won compared to how she won like 9 states.
Yeah.
And he won the rest. And I get that she won more. She got more popular votes because she won like California, which has a lot of, in New York. But it's like, even if you just look at the map and say, count to 50 and how many he won, how many she won, he still won. I mean, it doesn't matter.
He won the election. It was razor thin margins. He barely won, but he won. Like,
right.
You switch Florida and she wins the election.
Like, people are more upset about this for some reason than Bush Gore. I mean, Bush stole that election. Trump won this election fair and square.
No,
Yeah.
that the Supreme Court handed it to him basically, and that was
Right.
kind of bullshit. But this really it wasn't close enough for a recount. He won the election. I don't know what we're even debating here, but I also think it should be popular. The whole point of the Electoral College is that the founders of our country thought the people were too dumb to elect the president, and they were supposed to be a way to intervene, basically, and elect someone more competent. But now they just go along with the popular vote in each state, and now they elect Trump anyway.
Anyway,
Well, I mean, nobody would want to get rid of the Electoral
No.
College if Trump if it was reversed.
I've always
Nobody the day before the election was saying, "Hey, before we vote, let's get rid of the Electoral College," because everybody thought that Hillary had her map to 270, and then as soon as she didn't get her map, it's like, well, this fucking thing is stupid.
No, I completely agree with you about that. I always wanted to get rid of the Electoral College because I think it's not a democracy, so I don't really want that. I'd rather have that's a representative democracy. I'd rather have us actually elect the president because for the most part, neither candidate had a campaign in New York or California or Texas because those states didn't matter because you don't care about votes you're getting when the states are already decided.
Right.
Anyway, we're getting a little too political on the Trump podcast. Go on, Jay.
Rosero writes, why do white people feel so much white guilt?
I don't even know what that means. What does that mean?
Well, we do have a nation where we had a lot of slavery, which was pretty horrible, and we've treated minorities and especially black people and Indian people and every minority we have a pretty bad history of how we treated them. So I understand why our nation should be extra sensitive about it.
Yeah, but I also don't feel like I should apologize for something that like somebody 5 generations ago did to somebody else 5 generations ago.
Well, you individually don't have to, but our nation should. And the effects of what we did back then still are they're still seen.
Yeah, but individual people like apologize for that. Like that's what white guilt is.
Do you your grandma walks around and just stops black people and goes, "I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry."
There's people like that.
My
Anyway.
grandmother wouldn't be sorry.
I don't think any of our grandparents would. It's a very racist generation. Rosero writes,
My grandmother said, well, before Obama was right, she goes, I can't vote for a colored guy.
We elected a racist grandfather, basically.
yeah.
He's a grandfather. There you go.
Rosero writes, why do black people bitch about slavery when it was 400 years ago when currently their more mother nor grandparents went through it?
In fairness, your math is horrible. 400 years ago?
Yeah, we weren't even a country 400 years ago.
Yeah. Not that it was recent, but 150 years ago or so, which is not nothing.
Yeah.
I still think you still see the effects of it in society, and I think that's probably why people bitch about it. And it's also like, I don't know, like you're born into society and then you find out like a short while back in your history, like when your country was founded, it was founded on values that included enslaving your people. I can see people being upset about that still.
All right. Alan writes, what science fiction TV shows do you guys like?
Does Game of Thrones count as science fiction?
That's fantasy.
What's the goddamn difference?
Yeah, what's science fiction?
Science fiction's more like space.
I started watching Timeless. Is that science fiction?
I don't know what that is. I would say Battlestar Galactica, The 100. It's about all I'm watching, really.
So they have to be in space to be science fiction? Isn't like the Hunger Games science fiction?
Yeah, like futuristic. Fantasy is more like medieval, like wizards, dragons, shit like that.
Okay, so if it's set before now, it's fantasy. If it's set after now, it's science fiction.
You could probably stick to that and be right like 99% of the time. Yeah.
What is Timeless? I've seen like advertisement for that.
It's time travel.
Alan
Okay,
writes.
don't explain the show. Thank you.
Sorry, I was taking a sip of water.
That was the worst explanation. Like you're like
No,
time travel.
There's some guy stole a time machine, and then there's this group of like a historian and like a military guy and like a science guy like keep going back in time to try to find him, and they can never catch him, and he keeps going to like different. He has like a master plan where he's trying to like eliminate like almost like a group, sort of like the Freemasons.
So is this show really good, and you're trying to keep it a secret by making it sound horrible?
It's not. I mean, there's only been like 4 episodes, but it's been all right.
That was a very unenthusiastic pitch for it.
Well, I'm not. They don't pay me to advertise the show. This isn't the Timeless podcast. It's the
Alan
Donald Trump
writes,
podcast.
does Mark have any fetishes like Jay with Asian women?
Jewish women.
Asian. Yeah, well, I'm married to a Jewish woman. I was gonna say Asian food, black beans. Actually, I'm big into black beans.
Alan writes, how does Jay's throat feel like? Can he sleep like a normal person? Is Mark's wife still trying to kick him out of his bathroom?
Oh yeah, what happened with your surgery? I never heard anybody on it.
You should listen to the last podcast, Jay.
I don't listen to this fucking podcast.
Much like our fans.
Yeah, it's doing better. It's probably like 95% better now. And last night was probably the first night I actually slept really, really well. So it's,
Like how good did you feel?
I felt great.
Like this is the best you felt in the years?
I think so. I mean, I'll have to string together a couple nights sleep. I mean, it's I've been stressed out at work, so I haven't been like sleeping good just because of that. So
was it elective surgery or were you sick?
Well, I mean, I had apnea, and I was also getting like a shitload of tonsil stones. So
yeah,
between the two things, it was.
What's a tonsil stone?
You ever get those like white hard things back in your tonsils? It's like
No, that's why I asked what a tonsil is. I have no idea.
I don't have my tonsils came out.
It's like these little like white hard pellets that like smell like death. And
What?
yeah, like
that might be the air in your apartment.
That might be Brian's body.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you smoke me after you killed me?
Okay. What? So, do you think suddenly Jay will like suddenly after he'll get some good nights of sleep, suddenly he'll perform better at work, get promoted, he'll nail the CPA exam, suddenly he becomes the most successful person ever. He's he's the CEO of his company. What happened? Well, I got my tonsils out. I started sleeping properly, and now I became motivated in life again. And my podcast, I don't do podcasts.
It's either that or the alternative is he writes a bad Yelp review and gets another one.
Maybe I should write a bad Yelp review for my job and get a free promotion.
Yeah, why not?
Maybe if somebody wrote a bad Yelp review for our podcast, it would get better.
MVP of Facebook questions, Andrew writes, have you guys calmed down after watching the Porzing God last night? After
I was really excited till I watched part of today's game.
Yes, exactly. Andrew writes, is the black mold still hanging around Jay's house?
Yep, now it's white mold in his throat.
My landlord actually came and fixed he didn't do the behind the wall stuff, but he got rid of all the stuff you can see. So baby steps.
Okay.
So now maybe I'll just die of toxic mold exposure in 10 years instead of 5.
By the way, Noah played 19 minutes tonight.
Yeah, he's bad. Andrew writes,
what a goddamn terrible contract that is. Go on.
Andrew writes, Jay, to walk at the speed you do you walk like the people in the old videos like from the 1920s where it's all sped up? No, I walk like those fast walker Olympic people.
Brian, were you on this episode where we were talking about walking fast?
No, but I walk fast. Everybody hates me because I walk fast.
How fast do you think you could walk 2 miles?
Probably like 25 minutes.
Would you think someone's fast if they could walk 2 miles in 5 minutes?
I never said that.
Liar.
I would think that person's probably from Kenya.
I said about what Bry said.
You did not. You've never. We would have had a normal conversation if you did.
No, you said
when we lived in Boston, our apartment was 2 miles from school. It used to take us like 18 to 20 minutes to get home.
Exactly. And
I
that's
was
what
young
I
then,
said
so
to
now I
Mark,
figure,
and Mark said that was absolutely ridiculous. It takes about 45 minutes.
No, I want 35 minutes to walk 2 miles. But Jay said, you're 2 miles from home, and I take a cab. You're like, well, why don't you walk it? You're like, it take 8 or 10 minutes to get home if you're walking 2 miles. Go to the tape.
I did not say 8 or 10 minutes.
You walk faster than a Kenyan. I'm telling you. You claim to do that.
Revisionist history.
Well, we live in a Trump society, and whatever I say is true.
Andrew writes, does Jay laugh at professional walkers in the Olympics and how slow they are relative to his speed, or does he aspire to be like one of them one day?
I think Jake can go right into the Olympics.
There's walking in the Olympics?
There is.
Yeah, there's a speed walking competition. You never saw that?
I didn't know that.
Oh, it's so funny.
It's the most bizarre thing you've ever seen. And
Andrew,
the whole time you're just like, why don't you run? You beat everybody.
Andrew writes, "Does Mark walk like a sloth?"
I guess so. I mean, like, I didn't realize, like, so I think it takes me about 35 minutes to walk 2 miles, and I didn't realize how slow that was.
Yeah, Brian and I could walk like 3.5 by then.
Oh, yeah.
Andrew writes, "Mark, do you have cool stories from your son's first few months of school? Also, do you have your sticker on your car yet, which represents your school?"
I don't actually, but a lot of people in our town don't do that. They put the elementary school sticker on there. I don't like putting stickers in general on the car, but as far as school, we had he had the teacher student conference. That was where they kind of like that you go in there and they kind of judge you as parents. They're like, here's how you fucked up so far.
Nice.
But it was nothing. What's a good story from
You
school?
can tell us next week. Andrew writes, "Which one of Steven's profiles is your favorite? I see he has a new one this week. Nice to mix things up."
I don't know why Steven constantly friends me on Facebook. The weird thing about that is I've accepted his Facebook friendship like a number of times, yet every 2 weeks there's a new profile that's like Facebook friending me. Like, why do you need more than one ever in your life?
It's just, no, he keeps deleting them and making new ones. Well, I would say stop because I don't feel like accepting new friend requests every day. Okay,
So
that's it.
I just want to say one thing about Andrew. So you know on Facebook where they say they tell you to celebrate your friendship with people.
Yeah.
So the other day it was like Facebook asked me if I want to celebrate my friendship with Andrew Morgan, and I was like, oh, what the? I'm not celebrating my friendship with. No offense, Andrew, but I don't want to celebrate my friendship with you on Facebook. It'd be really weird.
Well, what
Like
are they going to do with the photo collage where you've never been in a photo together? You should have said yes just to see what happened.
We've never met before, but yeah, like it'd be great if they could do that.
I'm actually curious what that video would have shown.
Yeah. And I have one story for my son, not around school, but the other day I was at the supermarket.
You know, we're at like 2 hours, right?
Fuck you. Anyway, I'm at the supermarket and we're in line. My son's like, I gotta go to the bathroom, and there's a bathroom in the supermarket. And I'm like, just go to the bathroom. I can watch you from here. As I'm checking out, you can go in the bathroom yourself. He's 5 years old. He can do this. And some old man's like, hey, could you watch my car too? I have to go where your son has to go. And I was like, no, you don't. It was just like I was like, and then he went to the bathroom, and I'm like, what the fuck? This like, old guy just followed my son into the bathroom, and I had to go check on him because it was just fucking. We live in this society where when an old guy says he has to go to the bathroom, I suddenly think like he's gonna be like this terrible like child rapist when he didn't do anything. He just had to go to the bathroom also. Anyway, that's my story about my almost encounter.
All right. So that's our show for today.
What did you learn today about Trump?
I think we learned a lot of stuff about Trump.
Jay, you want to make a login for Bri so you can start posting?
I did.
Well, aren't you multi-talented?
I told you I can multitask.
Yeah, you know that like 5 minute span when he wasn't talking?
Yeah, that's what I was doing.
Okay, the show has been too long. Tune in next week if the Donald Trump website still exists.
And if not, we will still have the Brink of Sanity episode 259.
Yes. Wow.
And Andrew said he hates you now.
Andrew, no, I like you, Andrew. It's just kind of weird that Facebook asked me to celebrate my friendship with you. It was just kind of an awkward. Like I'm like, you. Not that you're not one of my favorite friends, Andrew, but
completely
it's a little weird.
too. In fact, if you refresh Facebook, you probably have one less friend right now.
Oh well.
All right.
You can
Thanks.
have a new anniversary.
Thanks for listening, everybody. We will be back next week.
Goodbye, everybody. It's all over. Goodbye. It's time to go. This is the end. Say goodbye. You better go away. I'm gonna leave you. It's the end. Goodbye. Goodbye. Just leave me alone. Feels so good to say goodbye. I'm sick and tired and I'm saying goodbye.
Andrew wrote, "Me and Mark don't need a video montage to prove our friendship is so strong."